Hello Stephenville, I'm Michael Moore, staff writer for the Stephenville Empire-Tribune. Each week we sit down with an interesting person of Erath County and ask them 10 questions. Today, Stephenville High School principal, Mr. Travis Stilwell, gives his answers to 10 questions about his daily life. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great.
Good. Well, thanks for sitting down with us today, and let's go ahead and get started. What are your daily responsibilities for Stephenville High School?
Well, first, I guess before we get started, I'll comment on the introduction. I don't know how interesting I'll be, but we'll try. Daily responsibilities. People ask me from time to time what I do, and it's kind of hard to describe what the position of high school principal, what you do exactly. I kind of jokingly say I'm a fireman. I spend most of my time putting out fires. But an overall responsibility, you know, I am responsible for the daily happenings at Stephenville High School and overseeing all the activities, the instructional program, the extracurricular programs, and make sure that things go the way that they should. Each day I spend a lot of time working with teachers, a lot of times visiting with kids and parents, emails, purchase orders, evaluations, just a lot of different things. But anyways, I guess the overall responsibility is just to oversee the day-to-day operations at Stephenville High School.
All right. Well, you started out somewhere. What was your very first job?
Very first job. Let's see, when I was probably in second grade, I painted a boat for a man. Then after that, I would do just a lot of outdoor work. I was always a big kid. I hauled hay a lot in high school. Worked as a roofer. I carried shingles up. I worked with concrete. My first steady job, though, where I was on the time clock and got paid each and every week, I drove a tractor for the Tarrant County Water Board and mowed during the summers, and that was a good job for a high school kid, and I was proud to have it.
Definitely. Who do you count as your mentors?
Mentors, you know, that's one of those things that changes where you are in life, you know. But you know, growing up, I had several mentors. Of course, I had my neighbors' dads, and my family had several family members that were my mentors through my professional career. Starting out, Marvin Stewart with my first job, he was a strong mentor to me. Then we had Billy Jack Henderson and Connie Wimberly. She was a teacher that taught next door to me. She was a strong mentor to me. Moving on through my career, Gary Horn and Debbie Hines, they helped me a lot. Greg Gilbert, he was my superintendent at Santo. And currently, you know, Dr. Darrell Floyd, Dr. Floyd and I have a good relationship, and he helps me daily, and I consider him a mentor.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Oh, if I could change one thing about myself, I would be a 205-pound chiseled individual right now. Not far from 205, you can tell, but no, I would be. I'd lose some weight if I could change one thing.
All right. As principal, what do you consider the greatest opportunities?
I enjoy. I really like working with the kids, and that's one thing that you know, just drives educators. And when I see a especially young men, if I see a young man that's struggling with life issues and with challenges outside of school, I can bring my background to the table and share with them some of the challenges that I went through growing up, and try to help make a difference. And that's what I enjoy the most, is helping people that are struggling. And I enjoy that.
All right. On the flip side of that question, what do you consider the greatest challenges?
Well, I think the greatest opportunity is also the greatest challenge. You know, sometimes when you invest in individuals and you kind of pour your heart out to them and you want them to do so well, and it doesn't work out, that's a big challenge. You know, motivating the unmotivated, that is very challenging. And if somebody comes up with the solution to that, you know, they're going to be a millionaire. But that's the greatest challenge, is just motivating the unmotivated. And like I said, sometimes we win, you know, when we work with these young people, and sometimes your efforts, you don't see the fruits at that time. What you hope is later maybe you planted a seed and later it comes to fruition. But anyway, that's a challenge, motivating the unmotivated.
Sure. All right, how has technology impacted your day-to-day business, the way you do business today?
It's changed everything. Of course, when you go into the classrooms, the classroom today is so much different than it was when I went to school, for sure. Now, I'm not sure about when you went to school, but, now you very seldom, chalkboards are no longer, whiteboards are becoming obsolete. That is the new chalkboard, but smart boards. All of our classrooms have smart boards now, so it's even the whiteboards aren't used on a regular basis. I use a smart board. For my job, email, of course, communicating with people. We have over 100 staff members here, and I spend a great deal of time answering emails, because it's a fast way to communicate. And, even community, I get a lot of emails from community members, and every now and then students, normally students will come see me, every now and then they'll do that, but I think email has really changed. And some for the good, some for the bad. Some of it helps you communicate more quickly, but I think at times it takes away that personal touch that's important too.
Sure.
So, but I think that's been big.
All right, tell us something about yourself that most people do not know.
Okay, one interesting thing about myself, my parents actually had the same last name. So when my mother's maiden name was Stilwell, it was Stillwell, and my father's last name was Stillwell, Stillwell. So that's kind of an interesting fact. It's a little different, and people have fun with that. They say my tree doesn't branch, but anyways, that's kind of interesting.
All right, if you could have a different career other than what you're doing now, what would it be?
Oh, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy working with kids. I think I started off coaching, and there are many times when I have a rough day, I'll tell my wife, I'm going to go back and I'm going to coach 7th grade C team, go work with those kids that just have fun with them. But that's still an education. I enjoy working with kids. If I were to go outside of education, kind of dream a little bit, I think it's interesting what lawyers do. I think that that would be a fascinating career. Of course, I love books, law books, and everything. So that kind of interests me. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Stillwell. Thank you, Stephenville. Be sure to check back to Empire-Tribune.com frequently to see who we will sit down with next and ask 10 questions.